Hey, welcome to Physical Embodiment Studio. So glad you found our channel where we use intention, breath work, and movement to get in touch with your body and really tuned in to what's going on in your inner landscape so that we can channel it and use it on our external landscape as well. Today, I'm bringing you through a dynamic warm-up. So this is perfect before a run or a strength training practice, especially if you're following along on our full body workouts. This is great exercise practice to go through before moving into the strength training component. So let's start on the floor. You'll be in a kneeling position. If it's comfortable for your knees. If it's not, grab a blanket or an extra mat to put underneath your knees. From here, you want your femurs and your shins to be parallel to each other. And you'll have your hands on your hips. So let's bring your hips down towards your heels. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift and squeeze through the glutes. So we really want to prime your hips and start to get that mind-body connection into your hamstrings and glutes. Okay, so your back body. Inhale down, exhale, lift. This is a great time to observe what's going on in your knees as well. As you lengthen the quads, you might feel a little tenderness. So this is important where we're feeling the lengthening here in order to free up some space on the knees. One more. Awesome. Ground your left foot forward, going into a runner's lunge. Your knee will be over your ankle. I want your foot far enough forward so that you can send your hips forward as well, and your back leg is pretty far behind you to get a lengthening in that right hip flexor. From here, tuck your pelvis under a little bit, pull up through the navel, and relax your shoulders down your back. Take a second to breathe into the space of the hip flexor to really enjoy the lengthening here, because in a moment we're going into a hamstring stretch. So this is moving dynamically from a runner's lunge to a hamstring stretch. Let's start with your hands on your hips. Send your hips back, straightening your left leg, toes towards your face, thinking about keeping those hips parallel and not bringing one leg back, right? And then we want to bend in that front knee. Okay, so we'll move like that. Inhale, lengthen, exhale. Honestly, as long as you're breathing, you're happy. I don't need you to breathe at a certain time in this stretch, but we really do need to be sending air and oxygen through those muscles. Keeping it really straight through the spine. This is important so we can feel the full length of the muscles. Two more. All right, ground your left knee underneath your hips, switch sides, right leg forward. Runner's lunge side 2, knee over ankle, tuck the pelvis a little bit, grow tall through your spine. Check in with that left hip flexor, feel the lengthening here, try and enjoy the stretch. And then when you're ready, we'll send the hips back, straightening the right leg, keeping the hips square, toes towards your face. Bend that right knee, feel the stretch in the hip flexor, and then move it back. Tune into your breath, keep your spine long, feel the stretch of the hamstring as you send your hips back, and the stretch of the hip flexor on the left leg when you send your hips forward. Last one. And send your right knee underneath. Okay. Now we have scapular push-ups. The idea is to get your shoulder blades to move closer together and further apart from each other. This is important to create circulation in the muscles around the scapula, free up space in the shoulder blades and the collarbone, the clavicle. Okay, so let's start with your hands shoulder width. Your knees are on the floor for this one. Roll your shoulders down your back. Start by squeezing your shoulder blades together, keeping your arms very straight, and then exhale, push the ground away, dome through the mid-back. You might feel your navel pull up and in, and then when you're ready, you're dropping your chest down, squeeze in between your shoulder blades, exhale, push the ground away. Finding fluidity in your body, finding your pace, and notice if your shoulders try and creep up by your ears, try and keep them away from your ears. actively bringing the shoulder blades together and actively pulling them apart. Two more. All right, now we'll go into push-ups with the intention of engaging the pecs. An important part about warming up is priming the muscles that you're going to be working, especially if you're adding resistance like dumbbells or barbells. So let's start with your arms wider than your mat if you have it, or another way to set up is bringing your thumbs in line with your nipples, like literally on your nipples, spreading your fingers wide, and then walking your thumb to where your pinky is. So that'll set you up where your elbows are at 90. I'm going to do this on my knees because my intention is to warm up the pecs rather than the rest of my body right now. So slight tuck of the chin, lengthen through the spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, push the ground away, core locked in. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, push. All right, 10 proper push-ups to really get the pecs working. Now we're going into some arm circles to warm up your shoulders. You can do this kneeling or standing. I'm going to stay seated on my heels so I can get that stretch in the quads as well. Extending the arms away from each other. Flex your palms and go into small arm circles, 10 in one direction. Keeping those wrists flexed. And reverse. Awesome. Now we're going to prime the lats, so the side of your back. It's important to get the mind-body connection before firing those on a lat pull down, for example, or row. So let's go ahead and stand up. Extend your arms up towards the sky, reach with your fingertips, and then imagine you're pulling two heavy ropes down from the ceiling. Elbows will be pulling in towards your rib cage. So from the side, your wrists are in line with your shoulders, and your elbows are in line with your rib cage. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, pulling down. One. Great, that concludes our warm-up, short and sweet. Hopefully you're feeling nice and primed and ready to rock and roll. Whatever movement practice you choose, enjoy. I'll see you next time.